Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 83 of the Showbound podcast. I'm your host, Michael Raskin, here alongside San Jose Sharks prospect Ethan Cardwell, coming at you live from San Jose in your hotel room. Is that Holiday Inn?
No, the Hilton.
Right.
Pretty dialed in. They treat us well here, but yeah, man, just uh, just got in. I think it's what it's got to be about 6 o'clock your time,
Yeah.
Eastern, and it's 3 o'clock here on the West Coast. So left the house at 4 o'clock Eastern this morning. Got to the airport around 5. Airport was smooth sailing with Nexus, thank goodness. And then yeah, plane was on time too, which it hasn't been, that was the first time I've ever gone through Pearson on time going to the West Coast anyway. And yeah, it was good. 5.5 hour flight, watched a little bit of Suits on the way, and got in here, got to the rink, and then unpacked everything, and now here at the hotel.
Okay. So, who are you rooming with?
I'm rooming with Dylan Hamelick. He's a 2000 out of he played in the dub like in his what do you call it, junior hockey days, I guess.
Yeah. And you see any of your buddies on the flight or anything like that?
Yeah, a bunch of the boys on the flight. And then yeah, once we got down here, I just got back from Chipotle. Obviously, it's a nice treat when you're in America. It's kind of everywhere you look. So got a nice chicken bowl there. Load up on some protein for tomorrow. I went over there with Cozy and Oz and Mitch Russell, a few former guests of the show. So good to catch up with them. And it's just nice to touch down here, kind of get settled, and just prepare for this rookie tournament starting on Friday.
Yeah, that was my next question. So, what's happening for your next couple days? Like, take us through what the next week looks like.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hectic tomorrow. I know tomorrow we got to go in. We have to do physicals, and then we have to do off ice testing, and then on ice testing, and then a practice. So tomorrow is going to be a pretty grueling day when this episode airs live. So wish me luck if you're listening to this episode. But no, it should be good, man. I'm really excited. It's obviously like the first day you start out of the gates real hot, so got to go give it everything you got early on and try to set the tone for the rest of the camp. And then from there on out, it kind of just gets us into game routines, right? Because we play on Friday, Saturday, off day Sunday with a practice, and then a play again Monday. So I'm assuming Thursday will be another like lighter day, just kind of like easing up from the day before. I know tomorrow's going to be really hard. So, and then it's kind of just into that flow of things. And then from there, after the tournament, we'll find out who makes it on a main camp after the rookie camp, and we'll know more going into next week and see what happens. Just looking forward to a big week of training, and then some games, and going to see a lot of familiar faces at the prospect tournament as well. So excited about that.
Yeah, and all hopefully they're streaming those games. I want to watch that. That'd be pretty cool. And then is it at your main like the SAP Center, the prospects tournament?
No, actually, it's at the Barracuda new rink.
Oh, the
So it's
new
called
is that open?
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's called the Tech CU Center. So it's open. I saw it today. It's absolutely beautiful. I went in, like we're getting dressed in the AHL dressing room and everything like that. Have all the facilities. So it's second to one, second to none. It's like
Second to one.
yeah, it's second to one, but no, second to none, and it's incredible, man. Like as soon as I walked out there, like a it looks like a really well done junior arena, and that's what I think the vibe should be in the AHL. Like you're obviously not going to fill out 20,000 people a night in an AHL rink, so I think having it like 4 or 5,000, it's perfect. Have a better atmosphere in there, kind of fill the fans in, and it'll be a great fan experience there, which I think will lead to more people coming out for sure. Because by the looks of it right now, it's absolutely incredible, and I hope they are streaming it so that you can get a little sneak peek. And I'll definitely be sending you some pictures back from this week.
Yeah, I want to see some pics. I remember last year in the whatever it was called, the black versus white game that you played in.
Yeah,
They showed on the stream like the artist rendering of the AHL rink before it was built. So I got to see what it looked like from that, and I knew right away like it was beautiful. So yeah, send me some pics. That's sweet. Um, Now for Brock, like we got a new rink this year, and we
that's
just
what I was. I was literally just like when I had just cut out because of my Wi-Fi, I was just saying I know there's big things going on at Brock, so I want to hear about.
Yeah, so we just finished moving into our new dressing room, and man, it's really nice. Like for a youth sports team, like I'd put our facilities up there probably with like any of them. I haven't seen like many of them, but I know like it's pretty dialed, like it's pretty high quality. So we have like a big dressing room that seats 28, which is our roster size. Um, we're gonna put some like stuff up, like words and things like the culture kind of and alumni up on the upper walls, like to kind of make it more of our own. But it's really cool. Our coaches room is huge. Um, we got like the trainers room now, like video rooms, like we got everything we need. The rink is sick, so it's pretty cool. I can't wait. We have our first preseason game on Sunday and against Windsor. So I'm pumped for the preseason. It should be good. And your preseason in the O is like already over for you. So is that right? Like you played all your
Yeah, man. Like if I end up going back to the O, it's pretty much right into regular season for me. But yeah, I did my 3 games. Very like we've had a bunch of success out there, so the team's shaping up really well and really excited. Like obviously here with one goal in mind, and it's to stay here, but to have that as a backup plan and have such a good team and a good group of guys there, it's pretty nice to be able to fall back on if that's the case.
Yeah. So tell us about your preseason games. Like how was it? I know you scored a couple goals. Any like anything on the ice, any chirping battles going on in the preseason or none of that?
Not too much really. I was kind of just more concerned, just keep my mouth shut, get myself prepared for San Jose's camp. Don't do anything stupid out there. Just mind my business, play my game, and try to prepare myself, like I said, and just work on the little nuances of the game that I need to carry over to bring here. So I felt like I did a good job of that. Checked all the boxes I wanted to in preseason, and like I said, the team did real well. We haven't had a regulation loss yet, so it's only preseason, so you can't read too much into it. But it was good, and I enjoyed it, and it was nice to see pretty good crowds out in Barrie too for the preseason, and it's always nice when you can play in front of people and put on a show for them.
Yeah, and like I said, you had some goals, and if you keep scoring the way you were into the prospects tournament, you're gonna get a contract. Like if you keep putting the puck in the back of the net, we're all gonna be rich.
Oh my God, man! Yeah, I mean, hockey's a weird game, right? Sometimes the pucks go in the back of the net, and other times they're hitting posts, crossbars. You're missing that by a million miles. So, yeah, I was lucky enough to have a few goals, and got to give credit to my teammates too for helping me out in that sense. But it's definitely a nice feeling when you're a hockey player and you see that puck hit the mesh or bar in. But no, it's nice, kind of just as a confidence booster going in. You want to make sure your game's sharp, and that's a reflection of it, obviously, for a person who wants to put up numbers and wants to score goals. So it's good, and I feel like had a good summer. So just trying to translate that into the regular season.
Yeah. Now the goalies you're scoring on in the OHL preseason are gonna be a lot different than the NHL prospects tournament, eh?
Yeah, I'm sure they will be a little bit different. I mean, can't you know what? Honestly, we've played a few good goalies though in the preseason. You got to give them credit a little bit as well. I think everybody's rusty, and I think you'll see that at the prospect tournament as well. There's so many guys who didn't have the opportunity to go to OHL camps or major junior camps or whatever like that, and they're coming in here, and this will be their first games and their first kind of preseason action. So I think the first few games will be sloppy and stuff like that. So we'll see. Hopefully, the goaltending on the other team is a little bit sloppy or something like that,
Yeah.
and the Sharks can take advantage of it.
Yeah. So I mean, well, talking about goaltending, do you want to tee up our guest for today?
Yeah, I mean, there's no better segue into this episode, but we got Luke Cavallin, former Flint Firebirds goaltender. I think he was all OHL second team this year as an overager, and he signed a deal recently with the Toronto Marlies of the AHL, obviously affiliates with the Leafs. And he's a good player, man. I always remembered hearing about him when I was in Saginaw and stuff like that. And he's like he said, he was kind of struggling finding his way in the early years there, and then he kind of came into the player that he is later on in his career, as we'll hear about in a little bit.
Yeah, he's been trending upwards massively over the last couple of seasons. So I'm pumped to see him on the Marlies. And before we send to that, a couple more things. One, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the Nick Suzuki being captain of Montreal. Like obviously a young captain guy who recently played in the O. Like, what are your thoughts on that? And some backlash that he doesn't speak French, by the way.
Really, I didn't know about the backlash at all, but I think it's incredible for him. Obviously, his brother Ryan's been on the show a few times and stuff like that. So I was fortunate enough to play against Nick himself when he was on Guelph, and he's a hell of a player, man. I don't know how much he talks in the dressing room or he's like an outgoing leader. I think he's more of less just, I'm going to show you how to do it on the ice. I'm going to be a pro on and off the ice and just lead by example. And I think he's done a great job of that. And that's obviously why he was the captain in Owen Sound in the OHL. And I think for Montreal, it's a great pick. Like he's going to be their captain for probably what, like 12, 13 years now. He's on an
Yeah.
8-year deal, and that probably won't be the end for him since he's the captain. And you know what? It's a lot of trust they have in him. So obviously he's doing a lot of great things to earn that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good one. I mean, when I think about their roster, they don't have like a lot of older veteran presence now, like with their shift in this rebuild. Um, and it made me think too, like there's a trend of young captains now, like Brady Kachuk kind of started it. Um,
Sure.
yeah, he sure. Now we got Suzuki, like McDavid. Um, there's a lot of younger ones.
Michael in Buffalo was,
Yeah, yeah. Who's the captain of Calgary?
well, it was Giordano. I don't think they had one last year.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So maybe, I mean, I don't even know who it would be. I have no clue. I don't know who their A's are, but oh, maybe Huberto.
Yeah, I think Huberto would get an A. I feel like they would give it to somebody who's been there like a longer. Like I don't even know. I'm trying to think of
See,
like,
I agree with you. Like that's what I would do. But then you look at like Tavares when he came to the Leafs, got the C, and he hadn't been there. Like
yeah. The only thing is he had worn a C before, so that's the argument I guess you could have on both sides. Like Tavares was coming over, he was the older guy. He would like they were bringing him in for a leadership role and stuff like that. So, but I don't know. It definitely. Where do you pull Calgary from though?
well, I was just thinking like because I was thinking young guys like teams without a captain. I originally thought Matthew Kachuk, like potentially after I said Brady, and then obviously he's not there anymore. But so that's why I started thinking about Calgary.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, another one who's like he's older now, but Landeskog, he was the youngest captain in NHL history, I think, for a little while there, and it was so unseen before for that to happen, and now obviously we're seeing it pop up more and more often, and it's good, and it gives a testament to these young guys. They're not coming in and they're not scared anymore. They're taking their leadership role and they're being themselves, and they're taking control of the team at a young age, which is incredible to see.
Yeah, there's definitely a trend there, and I guess it's also an incentive for keeping guys longer. I mean, think about it, like in Buffalo, like Eichel might not get to see if they don't like it was a way to try to keep him, Similarly with like Kachuk in Ottawa, like who knows if he wants to stay if he's not the captain. And I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just like using it as an example, but um it's an incentive to keep guys long term. Like you say, you'll be the captain, sign an 8-year deal type of thing.
Yeah, exactly, and it gives the guys it puts a lot of respect on their names, obviously, and guys take pride in that. I know as a hockey player, and you played the game as well. Like if you're lucky enough to be a part of a leadership group, you feel like you're you're wanted and you feel respected by the coaching staff and the players, and you feel like you have a different role to take on. To you're responsible for a lot more players than just yourself at that point, and it's more or less about the team than it is about yourself. And I think it adds a different aspect to the game that a lot of guys enjoy.
Yeah, and I haven't mentioned this in like 2 years, but for those early listeners, we know I was the captain in minor hockey like every single year. So just I was the man. I basically ran the team every year. But I want to send it to the interview. Before we do, we got a great message from Manscaped. And as we know from the Cowboys' painful loss, football is back, baby. We're back to seeing Mahomes sling beautiful balls all over the field, and your friends at Manscaped are here to help you sling your beautiful balls all season long. With Manscaped's state-of-the-art tech, we'll have your weapon looking more loaded than the AFC West. Football may be rough, but your ball care doesn't have to be with Manscaped. Join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code SHOWBOUND. Meet the best valued bundle yet for the Manscaped's Pocket Rockets, the Platinum Package. At QB, the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, a wily vet who makes sure the unit is running smooth and scoring nonstop. With proprietary advanced skin-safe technology, the lawnmower limits mistakes and protects the ball. Plus, it's waterproof, so the weather conditions are no issue. At running back, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, built to bust through all the right holes. A hairless nostril just helps it keep a nose for the end zone. On the offensive line, we have our unsung heroes, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner, the Trent Williams and Corey Lindsley of Sack Protection, standing strong to keep your boys fresh and clean through all 4 quarters. At wide out, the cleanest duo in the league, the Ultra Premium Body Wash and Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner. With their rugged scent, they attract both the ball and all the ladies in the crowd. Plus, these two leave your skin and scalp feeling more hydrated, and that means more plays on the field and less water breaks. At tight end, the product that makes your end look tight, Manscaped's anti-chafing boxer briefs, a dedicated jewel pouch to increase ball handling and a cool, steady vibe thanks to their moisture-wicking fabric. On defense, there's only one thing you need, the aluminum-free ultra premium deodorant. With refined cologne quality fragrance, it keeps sweat and locker room scents from making any ground. Plus, it dries clear so the opponent won't even know what hit him. To top it all off, we throw in the best coach in the league, the Shed Travel Bag, as a free bonus. Built to hold the team together, this travel-sized bag has a fumble-resistant zipper. This has got to be a Super Bowl winning roster, but don't take my word for it. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code SHOWBOUND. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com when you use the code SHOWBOUND. Manscaped, for turning your player into an MVP. Oh, now I feel like that took me a long time to read, but it was that was a funny one, eh? Like that's a Manscaped's always getting it right.
Like you got to give their marketing team a lot of credit for like the people who are crafty enough to kind of think of these things and like think they've been doing this for so long and the amount of ad reads that they've had to like come up with and stuff, and they never get old. And I don't think they ever cease to not make people laugh. Like I think everybody that I talk to and they're like, oh yeah, I listened to the podcast last week and I just couldn't keep it together when Rask was reading that Manscaped ad. So
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. They do a great job of that.
Yeah, we got to get you to do a read again. You remember the last one you did? And you were like,
Oh
maybe
yeah,
an hour.
I need to talk to their coach about getting a fumble resistant zipper for my mouth when I'm trying to read that because I was just fumble effing words all over the place when I was trying to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll send it into the interview now. So hope you guys enjoy it. We are pleased to be joined now by Luke Cavallin. Cavs, how's it going, man?
Good, guys. How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Good. Yeah, we're happy to have you on, and I'm a Marlies fan myself, so I'm excited to have you on the show. But the prospects tournament is coming up, and I guess you're flying out tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, so my flight's at 12 tomorrow, so I've just been packing all day pretty much here. And I think I get to Toronto tomorrow, and then the very next day we're practicing and driving down to Traverse City there. So it's going to be a quick turnaround, and I think the next month or so is going to be pretty hectic, but I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we're the Maple Leaf, and I'm curious. Growing up, who was your favorite NHL team?
Honestly, I really didn't have a favorite NHL team. Like, I think I was just a fan of hockey. Like, I didn't have a favorite player either. Just enjoyed all the teams. Like, obviously, I'm from Ottawa, but I don't think that was biased at all. So, yeah, I was just a fan of the sport, and any good teams I liked watching. So, yeah, I didn't have a favorite though.
Oh, that's so interesting, man. So no like goalies you like I guess no favorite goalies or goalies you looked up to or anything like that?
Yeah, I think as a kid, like when I was younger, I think it was Ryan Miller for a couple of years there, and then as I grew older and started like playing more as a goalie, I think it was just like a fan of watching all the top goalies and just picking apart at all of their game. There's no specific favorite, and like whoever was hot, and obviously the favorites are like Price and Carter Hart right now, and like all those guys. So I was just like watching whoever I could. Yeah, just enjoy everyone.
Interesting. And I'm curious too, like heading into your first full pro season, all that, first AHL season, what kinds of things have you done in the off season to prepare yourself for it?
Well, it was actually really awesome that I got to be training in Toronto with the organization. The way they operate there is unreal. So they've taken care of most of my off-season training. I've gotten to get on the ice with most of the guys and the staff, and then development there was good also. So just doing that training, kind of like you dip your toes in a little bit and you see what it's all about. So just getting to do that, I think, was really huge for me, and you kind of acclimatize to it. So I think that was awesome. And yeah, their facilities are really good. So I got treated pretty well this summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Cavs, you obviously goalies, like it's a different story for everyone. So just curious, like how old were you when you started playing goalie, and like what made you want to be a tender?
Yeah, well, I think I was a forward until I was about 9 or 10. And then I decided I wanted to switch over. Like I was talking to my dad about it, but he was a goalie growing up as well, and he played pro goalie in Europe. So that's why I was born in England, and my brother was born in Germany. Like we kind of grew up in that environment. So just being exposed to it and seeing him as a goalie as well, like he's been a huge help for me. So yeah, I don't want to say he's the total reason. I think I'd like to say I had it in me also, but definitely that was an influencing factor.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, I think it worked out pretty well in your favor. And kind of starting up the ranks, you were a second round pick of the Flint Firebirds back in 2017, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what age did you kind of figure like, okay, I'm pretty good at this goalie thing. Maybe I could make a career out of it, or did you realize like, yeah, like I'm like, it's not more about having fun. It's serious now.
Well, I think honestly, since a kid, I've been pretty serious. Like I think the guys that know me, I'm a pretty serious guy, and I've always like been real into hockey even when I was like way younger. So I think it was always a dream of mine to play pro, and I think my eyes were like, as any kid was, like my eyes are set on the NHL, and so I've always been going after that. And I think it's just been more of a process for me. It's been a different developmental route for me, and yeah, I think the goal remains the same, but it's just been yeah, kind of the whole time where I've been hoping to do that.
Okay. Now I want to talk about playing in Flint and all that, and on that topic, I forgot to mention it off the hop, but I got to shout out Ethan Keppen for setting up this interview. He made it happen. So shout out to Kep, who's a alumni of the show. But so you came in as a 16-year-old goalie to the OHL, which is rare as it is, but then you also played half the season, which for a goalie is a lot, like 31 games I noted down here. So how was the adjustment to that level at that age?
Yeah, it was definitely a big jump, I think. Coming into the league as a 16-year-old, I think is tough in itself. And then I know my first couple of years in Flint, like we struggled as a team and as myself. Like I think my second year I had 5 goals against average. So I'd say it was definitely something to get adjusted to. And yeah, it was definitely some tough times. As you mentioned, Ethan Keppen, like we were drafted together. So we kind of came up together through the ranks, and we played all 5 years together. So he's a guy that would really understand it and see all the highs and lows that we went through together. But I think overall, like I've been blessed kind of how it worked out. I know it was pretty tough, but wouldn't change it. I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah. And kind of on that note, off the ice as well, like Flint as an organization was getting better from the time you came in to where it is now. Like it's no secret, like it might not have been the best spot at the beginning, but it's turned into an amazing destination. So like, how was it in your first year compared to your last year, seeing the difference on and off the ice, like I guess team success and as an organization?
Yeah, for sure. They're a really young organization. I don't know exactly how old it is, but I think me and Keppen came in when I was just a couple years old. So I think there was a figuring out process there. And there's been changes throughout that organization the whole time I was there. And I think everyone there has the same goal in mind, and they're just looking to improve the organization. So I know it's had some tough times, especially throughout the media and all they've went through, but I think they're heading in the right direction. And yeah, I know they have some success in their future.
Yeah, definitely like playing against Flint, and like you hear so much going into the OHL about that and stuff, and it might be questionable and there's so much problems, but you see guys who play there and you talk to guys day in and day out and they just say it's an awesome place to play. The players love it. They're living in great spots and the facilities are second to none there. So obviously, like you just said, it's definitely on the up and up, and it's good that it's going that way. But so you played a few years there in Flint, and then obviously COVID struck and kind of affected us all. But you played in Italy during the canceled season, and we've had a lot of different stories from various teams in Europe and places. So haven't heard about Italy yet, though. So tell us a little bit about your decision to go play there.
Yeah, I think that just worked out pretty well for me, like the timing and everything. I think it was the beginning of December where I got the call to go over there, and obviously my dad had his connections as he played pro there, so yeah, it just worked out awesome, and I was super excited as we weren't playing in the OHL that I was actually going to get to go over and play some hockey and in an amazing destination as well. Like I was in the Alps League, and it was a team called Ritten, and we were up in the mountain on top of Bolzano, and yeah, it was a beautiful little town. And yeah, it was awesome to play there. Like it was, the guys were amazing, and you have so many good life experiences there. So honestly, I can't say enough good things about that place. And I've been trying to go back. I've been super busy, so I've been pushing it off, but really hoping to get to go back and like see the guys there and get to spend a little bit more time there, because obviously while we were playing hockey and through COVID, didn't get to enjoy it as much as I would have liked to.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So did you find like it was a big adjustment when you lived there and like language barrier and all that, or how'd that go?
Um, well, not as much, no, because as I mentioned, like my dad played pro, so I actually lived in Italy as I was younger and went to school there. And I moved to Canada when I think I was like 8 years old, but I remember most of my time as I was younger in Europe. So it was almost like going back home to like see my roots almost, and it was kind of cool for me to get to experience that again as I was older.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's always nice to get your foot in the door over there too. You never know how like careers play out and stuff, but Europe's always a great option. So it's nice to kind of get a head start on that. And how about the playing? Did you find a big difference from the OHL to pro over there overseas?
Yeah, it was pretty different. I think for starters, they play on the Olympic ice surface, so just that in itself is a huge adjustment. Like I noticed like a lot more perimeter plays, and like forwards being able to burn the D-men. So that in itself was different. And then just playing pro hockey, no matter like where it's at, it is a bit of an adjustment where like they're all professionals, and they play the game a little bit differently and more patience and more reads and more passing. So I think that was a huge help for me, and I think it'll help me benefit me going into my first pro year this year.
Yeah, for sure. And is there anything like specific that stuck out from Italy, or any cool stories that went on when you were there that stick out in your mind?
Nothing specific. I know there's actually one practice that we got to play like that was outdoors, and like you had the view of the mountains in the background, and then it was just cool being outside to play hockey. I know some guys get to experience it, but like when you're playing on an outdoor rink in Italy, it's pretty sick there. So I think that was one of my favorite memories there.
Yeah, that's
That's
pretty
pretty.
sweet. I have a question about Italy. Like, I know a lot of people who are now signing in that league and in Italy. What do the Italians like? How do they feel about hockey? Because it's obviously not known as a hockey country, but how was it for you? And like, is it like, do they care about it? Like, do they know? And like, how many kids are playing hockey? Like all that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd say it's really underrated because we didn't get fans there because of COVID, but I know that like from what I've heard and what I saw there, like the fans are really amazing and everyone loves hockey. For me, the town was like a ski village, and then like more of a hockey town. So yeah, it was awesome. The community around there was really cool. So I think the hockey there, I think it's a really good place to play. And I know guys that like don't really know much about it tend to stay away from there. But I think if you can experience it, I think it's going to be an awesome experience.
Yeah, and probably some good food too while you're playing. But also, I'm curious, like you kind of mentioned growing up in Europe and stuff. What are all the countries that you've lived in?
Well, I started off, I was born in England and then moved around a bit. We were in a couple different cities in England and Ireland, and then went to Germany for a bit. We moved around a few times in Germany and then finished off 1 year in Italy before I got to move to Canada. So before I was 8, I was moved around a bunch of different times. So I know it was a bit of a different childhood than most, but some really cool experiences, and I still remember most of that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And were you playing minor hockey out there? Or did you wait to come to Canada before you started playing?
Yeah, I played a little bit. I don't know like what level or age I was at. I was probably about 4 years old till I was 8 years old. So there's still some videos and pictures of me playing out there and as a forward as well. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, probably like 4 years old as a forward, ads all over the jerseys at that age.
yeah, for sure.
But going back to Flint and your overage year, like this past hockey season, you came back and dominated, played 56 games as a goalie, which is, I imagine, would you know, that's got to be the most in the league, right?
No, I think there was maybe one other guy. I think Mitchell Weeks played a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, it was quite a lot of games, and also I missed 6 games with COVID and then 2 games with my suspension. So I missed it like 8 games. So I could have played even more, but honestly, it was a ton of games, and then I think we played 19 games in the playoffs too. So it was quite a bit.
Yeah, you dominated the playoffs too, but also just side note, I would hate to be this guy's backup goalie.
That's what I was just about to say. Whoever the backup is, I actually feel bad.
we had 2 goalies there, and Nathaniel Day and Ian Michelon. They were both awesome guys, and so Day was an 05 and Ian was an 04, and they kind of rotated. One guy was going to be on the bench and one guy was in the stands, so I think that would have been tough for them, but it was awesome for me, and I think hopefully the 3 of us as well, as we got to like push each other in practice, and I think we were a pretty close goalie group. So I think that was a good experience, and I think for me as an overage, it made things a lot easier and really helped a lot, so I appreciated that.
Yeah.
But sorry Rask, but when this guy got COVID though, like they would have been so fired up. Or
they probably gave it to him.
You got the suspension because you pumped a player, didn't you?
Yeah, that was 2 games I got for a fight. But then COVID, it was weird. We're actually playing Saginaw as I was walking in the building and going down, doing my usual and just packing my bag because we're away. And then I come into the room and like our assistant coach comes up to me. He's like, "You can't be here." I'm like, "Okay, like what are you talking about?" He's like, "You have COVID." I'm like, "Okay, joke's over. Like, come on." And he's like, "No, you're serious. Like, go home right now." I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, it was just craziest thing ever. And so, it was just a whirlwind. And then, so I missed, I think 6 games for that. So it was unfortunate.
Wow. That's a lot, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I want to hear about this fight actually.
Yeah.
You want to tell us about this fight?
Yeah, I figured that was coming, but it was honestly just weird how it happened. Like it was, I remember it pretty clearly. I know they dumped the puck in or something, and I just left it in the corner for my D-man James Mayotte, and then I remember he got like hit and he was like laid out a little bit, and then like I think a scrum broke out, and I just noticed there was like, I think we were outnumbered, and there was like 3 guys on my captain, Brennan Othman, and one guy was just like feeding him a little bit. So I was just trying to go in, even it out, and I just tried to pull him off. And I don't know how it happened, but just pulled him off, and like he just got up and was like, "Okay, we're going." And it just happened, and it was pretty weird. So I'm like, "Okay, we're going." And I know the boys were chirping me because like in the video, I'm like looking around at the refs and stuff, and I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." And we just went. So it's a little unique situation, but it was pretty funny looking back at it.
Wait, so did he get suspended too, or did you just soak it all?
No, it was just me. I think I was looking at the list, and it's like I got all these different penalties. It's like for leaving the crease, for fighting in the last 5 minutes, for instigating, like all these different things. So I'm seeing it add up. I'm like, come on, man. Like it was pretty tough, but yeah.
That's absurd. No, but Rask, you got to show a clip of this. like the fight was actually sick. I remember watching it. It was all over everybody's like Instagram and stuff. People are posting it everywhere, like goalie, like dummy's a player in a tilt. So
I know.
that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to post it.
It's tough though, because I know like Flint would clip it out, but you see at the end, like I actually took a spill there, and I know my girlfriend was chirping me about it, and like some of the guys are chirping me that I actually fell at the end, because it was like he let go and I was just off balance, and like I don't know, but like you see me land on my back, so that's pretty embarrassing. But the fight itself was pretty funny.
We have a good editing team as well, so we'll get that clipped out for you. Make you look like the
for sure.
Yeah, we'll get that one clipped out. But even going back into the playoff run, like you talked about, it was you guys went to the third round, right?
Yeah, we lost in the conference final against Windsor in Game 7.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that, because that was when I think we had kept on the podcast during that third round, or maybe it was the second round. Were you guys down 3-1 at one point, or no?
No.
Oh, they were down. I remember they were down, and everyone was counting you guys out. And I said on the podcast they're gonna get through the round or something. Like, and then I looked like a good
first round we were down 3-2 to Owen Sound, and then we won Game 7.
Yeah.
Or no, we were up 3-2. But we won that one in Game 7. I think the second round against Sault Ste. Marie, we won it 4-1. And then we were up 3-2 against Windsor, and then we lost in overtime. And then go and play Game 7 the next day. Yeah.
Okay. It might have been the third round that I said that, and you guys ended up losing, and I looked like an idiot. But so like you go deep into the playoffs, and you put up a 929 save percentage. So like when it counts, the numbers show it. You didn't let the boys down. It wasn't on you. Maybe it was on me. I cursed you guys for saying you're gonna get through it. But like, tell us about that playoff run and what you learned going through such a long run like that.
Yeah. Honestly, that was crazy. Like looking back at it, like it's been such a busy summer that I haven't really had time to reflect on it too much, but I'd like to, because it was such a special run. Because for me and Kevin, we never played a single playoff game in the OHL. Like we didn't make playoffs the first 2 years, and then third year we were good and we got canceled with COVID, and then missed my fourth year. So going into my OA year, I didn't play a single playoff game, but I knew we had a really special group, and like you had a good feeling about it. And, all the boys were close, and it was just a lot of excitement going into playoffs. And I think even first round for me was pretty tough. Like I know the first game I wasn't great against Owen Sound, and we ended up going to Game 7, and I thought it was a really tough series. Like they were good, and they really gave us a run for our money, because that was tough, and they were really good against us. But I think that was a learning experience for us. And then I thought we did really well against Sault Ste. Marie in the second round. And then I know going into the conference final, I feel like everyone was counting us out. I think a lot of people said we were going to get swept by Windsor, and nobody thought we had a chance. So I know that round was pretty tough, but I remember we were up 3-2 in the series as we took the Game 5 in Windsor, and then at home for Game 6 we lost in overtime in the last minute. So I know that was pretty deflating, because we had to go back there for Game 7, and then we ended up losing in Game 7. So that was pretty tough, but honestly it was a really special run. And I think even though we didn't win it, it was like pretty awesome for me, and I think I'll remember that for the rest of my life, because it was a lot of fun, and it was like a special way for me to go out.
Yeah, like you said, like you guys hadn't played any playoff games, so like where's your head at, like going into the first game, like you emotionally, like you guys, like you've been through a lot in Flint, like you said, kind of you guys watched it come from the ground up. So going into that first playoff game, like how much did it mean to you?
Yeah, it was huge. I think it was everything. And I know a couple of days before we had a meeting as a team, and it was pretty emotional. I won't touch into it, but I think it was pretty personal for like a lot of the guys. And I think everyone together was really well bonded, and we were all playing for each other. So I know the whole playoffs meant a lot to everyone. And it was a bit of an adjustment going into the first round. I think it was in a test too, getting a tough first start. I think it was good for us in the long run.
Yeah, obviously Owen Sound was a tough team to play against always, and going to their barn, a ton of travel for you guys. So I feel like that did you well going through the playoffs. But obviously, like you said, a special run, and obviously it led to a lot of success for you moving forward, and that leads us to the Marlies here where we're at now. And did you have like a lot of offers, or what made you choose the Marlies?
Honestly, I don't think it like I didn't hear anything throughout playoffs. I was just focused on the task at hand. So I wasn't really talking to my agent about that. And even throughout most of the season as well, that was kind of my mentality where like it was my last year and just wanted to play and just focus on that. I didn't want to be too distracted thinking about other things. I was just pretty much just staying in the moment. And I wasn't too worried about that. And then, yeah, right after the playoffs happened, it was like a couple days later that I heard what was going on. And I think honestly, to sign with a team like the Marlies and the Maple Leafs organization is so prestigious. So I think it was really like no brainer for me because yeah, it was just awesome, and I was so grateful to have that opportunity. And I think yeah, I'm really happy with that choice that I made because they've been awesome for me so far. And yeah, I'm just really excited and looking forward.
Yeah, and like you said, you've been working closely with them this summer and everything. So what kind of stuff are management telling you that you might need to work on or prepare for this summer going into your first season?
Yeah, I've been working with John Elkin. He's the goalie development guy there, and he's been really good to me. So I think um, he's been awesome, and he's given me a lot of feedback, and we've gotten to work together throughout the summer. So I think that's been really good for me in my development. I think Italy has helped me out and learning to play that pro game. I know it was 2 seasons ago, but I think that will benefit me throughout the year. And then just getting adjusted and playing the pro game is going to be a big thing. Like obviously they're going to be a lot faster, and you have to make those reads quicker. So I think that's going to be a big adjustment. But yeah, I think I've been prepared for it.
Yeah, and obviously like harder shots and stuff like that. Guys are more accurate, and yeah, they're older, they're wiser, they know the game a little bit better. But that's how it works. And it'll be a great learning adjustment for you, as I can imagine. But who are you most excited to play with on the Marlies this year? Obviously, Clune just retired, but other than him, any guys notable that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I just know a couple guys throughout. Like I played with some guys in the OHL, and then I don't really know a lot of the guys. I've just met them throughout training in the summer because a lot of guys have been there. So I know it's a really good group there, and all the guys I've met throughout the summer have been awesome. So just looking forward to joining a team again. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll take it into some personality questions now. We'll let the fans get to know who you are. And the first one, we haven't asked this one in a while, but how would your teammates describe you?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I guess it depends who you ask. It's like because came in as a rookie and then finished off as an older guy, so I feel like I'd say that I'm pretty serious. Take hockey really seriously, and I don't know. I like to have fun as well, so I think I have a good balance about both. But I'd say most of the guys would say I'm pretty serious.
Okay. If you couldn't be a professional athlete, what career path would you choose?
Yeah, I've no idea. There's so many different ways that I could take this one, but I think I need to do something that's like physical, or else like I don't know. That's just how I am. So like I talk to my buddies, and I've asked my buddies this question. We've talked about it, like what we would do if we weren't playing hockey, and I know ones that have come up. It's like you either play another sport, like I played lacrosse growing up, or something like that, or do boxing or MMA or something. But also consider joining like the military if I wasn't playing hockey, and then have my own business.
Okay, cool. Smart entrepreneur. Maybe the business to come after hockey. That's always an option.
Yeah.
Now, on another note, do you think artificial intelligence will one day overrun the human race?
Yeah, that's a tough question as well. That's an existential crisis there. But honestly, I've had some of those deep thoughts, but yeah, it's tough to say. I think you have to ask Elon Musk about that one. I think he knows best.
Yeah, we're trying to get him on here, but he hasn't responded, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of him, if you could have dinner with any currently living person in the world, who would it be? Because my answer would be Elon Musk.
Really, yeah. Honestly, that is a really tough question. I'm trying to think of all the like celebrities.
Cards, you think of an answer too. You're after.
I don't know, man. That's pretty tough. I want to say like probably Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking either MJ, but then Tiger for me.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like,
Will's
I base that-
Zalatoris for me, Cards.
Yeah, I don't know. Base that answer on like there's so many different ways, but like I'd always watch like the different documentaries. So the Jordan one was a huge one for me, and I think that's awesome. So that's why I based my answer off that.
Yeah. No, it's a good answer, man. He wants to win, so good inspiration from that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's so hard to like narrow it down to one person in the whole entire universe, because like you could go so many ways with that. Like you could go business, you could go like I don't even know, like just a million different directions. But obviously our minds are focused on sports, so it's a little biased. But we'll go into the this or that question. So it's real quick here. I give you two options and you pick the one that suits you best. All right. So we'll start with black or white tape.
White.
Play the puck or stay in your net.
I'm always playing the puck. I know the D can confirm that one.
Okay. Cardio or weights?
I'd say cardio.
Candy or chocolate?
Neither. I'm not a sweets guy. If I had to pick one, I'd probably no, not at all. I don't think I have a sweet tooth, but I'd probably go chocolate.
How about like, or what do you like? You like chips or something? Like, are you gonna have a snack, or are you just gonna have like a steak?
No, not even. Like I know a lot of the guys will testify where like I was pretty strict with my diet, and I know last year like I was full pescatarian, and 2 seasons ago I was vegan. So yeah, I'm pretty clean eater, but yeah.
Okay, so I guess this next question's kind of a write-off, but ice cream milkshakes.
Probably, I'll go shake.
Okay. Yeah. Night in or night out?
Night in.
Cook dinner or order food?
Cook dinner.
Coffee black or coffee with milk and sugar?
Always black.
Oh, one of those guys.
Yeah, the pregame's always the iced coffee.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Breakfast for dinner or dinner for breakfast?
Let's go breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, I would do the same. Now we have a couple fan questions for you before we wrap it up and send you on your way to the prospects tournament. But as a goalie, we've heard some weird ones on here. Do you have any like pregame routine or superstitions you stick to?
Yeah, I think if you ask the boys, they'd give you a handful. But for me, it's pretty unconscious right now. It's such a habit where I've just been in the routine where I don't even realize where I'm doing half the stuff. But I think for me, I'm not really superstitious, but I definitely have a routine like full blown where it's like even 24 hours before I'll set like the timer just to get me like I'll literally have like a countdown at 24 hours on my phone, and that just kind of gets me in the mood. And then my bedtime routine is the same thing every night, like especially throughout games and before games. Like I have like a breathing ritual and like some visualization stuff, and then at the rink, like you always tape your stick the same way and get prepared and get work done by your trainer. And then I'm doing all sorts of stuff like the dynamic warm up, serve with the boys, and then what else do I have? I know like right before we go on the ice, like I'll have like the juggling warm up, and then guys will see me going like it's like a little different eye exercise that gets the eyes going as well. I don't know if everyone picked up on it, but it is a little weird when the coach is talking. And then I don't know if I have any like super crazy ones, but they're all little ones that just get me prepared. It's not like where I'm panicking if I'm not doing it, but I think just the way the game, like the pregame flows and like how the routine is, it just goes through it and just gets me prepared, and just tells my body that I'm getting ready to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. And a classic goalie question, but would you or your teammates consider you to be a normal guy?
Honestly, yeah, I'd like to think so. I know of guys who said that where they're like I'm not super goalie weird. I know it's like a lot of goalies, like the super. A lot of guys will say that goalies are really weird generally. I don't think so, but I don't know if guys just aren't telling me.
That's usually how it goes. They probably won't say anything, but Okay, this one was an interesting one someone sent in today. How do you stay confident during cold streaks, or even like after you lose game 1-0 and sound like, how do you control your mindset?
Yeah, I think you go back to like your routines. Like you're always like doing everything the same, and your focus is always the same way. So, like that's why I don't think it's a superstition, because if I don't do it, like I don't think I'm gonna play well. Even if like I don't play well, I'm still going back to the same habits and getting ready the same way. So it's not like I need that to play well. It's just something that gets me ready. So, um, obviously you break down the game and go over your mistakes and visualize how you want to play, but I think you still go back to your same habits and go through the same routine, and you know that you've gotten to where you are for a reason. You're just continuing what you're doing. Like if you have a bad game, or if you have a couple bad games, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like you know you're going to have to be able to get through it. And yeah, you just go back to your routines, I feel like.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And that answer kind of holds true to skaters as well. But last one, Kepin wants you to talk about the chocolate protein shake story on the bus after the Guelph game.
Yeah, so that's why I was kind of laughing when the boys, like you asked what the boys would describe you as, but um yeah, that was kind of a funny one. I know after the Guelph game, I think we won in overtime or something. We like came back, but it was a big win, and the boys were kind of fired up, and I get pretty amped up after wins, and like I love winning and like being on the bus with the boys. But you know how we always do, like I know Cards, you can attest to where like you do like the stop the bus, like we forgot the 2 points or whatever, but
Oh yeah.
like the older guys will always throw stuff forward and whatever, and like the younger guys are chirping, and it's like a riot on the bus. And like the way I have it, like I was in the very back seat, well, especially like the second half of the year, and have like my bed set up and everything like back there on the floor. But um after the game, like they do the stop the bus, and we get these like protein shakes, they're the little cartons or whatever. um I don't want to say who started it. I think it was probably me who started it, but you're throwing stuff up at the rookies, and I knew I threw a protein shake, and won't name names or anything, but Drew threw one back at me and like kind of ducked, and he like whipped it, so I ducked out of the way, it fell on the floor, and I was just fired up, so I just grabbed it and threw it forward. It was hard, man, and Drew ducked, and I know it hit Dave right in the face, and I watch it happen, and I'm like, oh my god, because it exploded on his face. And it
Oh
like
my
it was a
God.
chocolate protein shake. The way it exploded, it went everywhere. It was like a bomb went off, and like everyone within like 3 seats radius was like completely soaked. I don't know how it got all over everyone, because it was a tiny protein shake, but sweaters were ruined. I know like Otter's shoes were like murked, and they're all freaking out. So it was probably like it was a pretty quiet bus right after that. Like I felt pretty bad, so I had to go up and apologize. But I think after it was all over, I know everyone's stuff came clean. So I think I'm hoping that guys can go back and laugh at that. But yeah, I know that was a pretty funny one.
That's hilarious, man. Oh my
I
God,
mean,
that's a classic.
if you're gonna win them as many games as you did this year, it's only fair. Like, you can ruin it. But it's an awesome game, right? Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was heat of the moment, but yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, and still like there's so many memories like that. Like I know, like I'm sure you can attest where it's like on the bus is just awesome time, and getting to share that with the boys. Like I think that's something I'll miss the most, is just being with the guys on the bus, and sharing those fun times.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
well, now you're on the plane with the boys, so a little step up. But
Yeah, we'll definitely won't be throwing any protein shakes on there.
you'll hit the pilot in the back of the head. But yeah, I mean that's all we got. I want to thank you for taking the time. Like it's super awesome having you on. I'm pumped to see you on the Marlies. Like I'll definitely be at some games. Maybe I'll be hitting you up for some tickets too. But yeah, just thanks for taking the time. I'll flip it to Cards to kind of say his words as well.
yeah, obviously really appreciated you as a player over the years playing against you and stuff. And super excited to see you in the A this year and see how you progress. And yeah, like I said, like Rask said, sorry, just awesome that you took the time tonight, and all the best here at camp.
No, for sure. Really appreciate it, guys, and awesome talking to you guys, and wish you guys both the best, and hopefully keep up.
All right, want to thank Cavs for that one. Good interview, and always good to get goalies on and hear their side of the game. And I thought it was a great one.
yeah, obviously a little bit of a different perspective coming from a goaltender for sure. And they have their routines and stuff. And I feel like goalies take that stuff a lot more seriously than players, or like just like follow a stricter regimen and stuff like that in terms of like they need to do this and this and this before games. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to hear that, and wishing him all the best this season. But yeah, man, like it's only 3:15 here right now, and I can barely keep my eyes awake from this travel day. Like I'm in one right now in terms of like how tired I am. I can only imagine. And I have to be up at 6:30 tomorrow for the buses. So what time do you think I should get to bed? Like honestly.
Well, you wanna stay up like I'd say like 10 o'clock. You want to make it
Oh,
to
too late. Too late.
because you don't want to go to bed too early and then wake up too early and then still be on a different time zone.
I feel like if I go to bed at like 9, so 9, that's like midnight at home.
Yeah.
So then I would sleep until 6:30. I'll sleep till 6, which would be 9. So it would be basically like sleeping midnight to 9, which isn't a bad sleep.
Yeah, well, when I say 10, that gives you the 8 hours. That's how I calculated it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge. I need at least 9 or 10 hours. I'm
Then yeah.
always like a 10 hour guy.
Okay, go then get to 9 p.m. your time and you're golden.
Yeah, this is gonna be a battle though from 3 till 9, especially with the fact I just ate chipper. Like I'm absolutely stuffed to the brim, and that just makes you even more tired. So I'm literally sit here. I'm gonna look at my TV. I might have to stretch. I got to keep myself occupied here, or else I'm gonna fall asleep, and then I'm gonna screw up the whole schedule. So I got to grind out these last 6 hours to make it. But
Yeah, it's a long time.
when's your guys' first game?
First regular season?
Yeah.
I think it's October 14th or 16th, like right around mid-October.
Okay. Actually, I meant to ask too. How are the Ice Dogs looking?
They look okay. I mean, it's hard to tell in the preseason, because some of the like there's guys at camps, there's guys who maybe are still trying out, the lines aren't worked out. So there's a lot. Even just having a new coach, who hasn't coached in the OHL yet, he's got to figure out like managing the bench. So I think the preseason is just going to be like a lot of learning for them. So it's hard to tell, but they should look okay. I mean, they got some good players and good tendies. So I think they're going to be good. But like in the preseason, like the last game I just went to against Erie, it was like a back and forth game, and then 11 seconds left or 10 seconds, Erie won the game in the third. It was like pretty dramatic finish for a preseason game. So they're competitive for sure.
Actually, I don't know if you saw the box score the other night from like our game against Kitchener, but have you heard about like what happened in the third?
No, didn't.
Dude, it was wild. So we were down 3-1 after 2, and we were like playing brutal. So then I scored to make it 3-2, and then Cholak scored to make it 3-3, and then they scored to make it 4-3. Veerling scored to make it 4-4. They scored to make it 5-4, and then Fraska scored to make it 5-5, and then with like a minute left, he scored again, and we won 6-5. And there was like, well, 4, and then there was like 7 goals in the third period. It was nuts.
Yeah, wow, that must have been a good game to watch, man. I didn't even hear
Well,
about.
yeah, the first 2 periods were embarrassing. We were bad, like real bad. But after that, I think we kind of just had to smarten up a little bit. But it was crazy. Like for the people that stuck around for the third period, they got to see like a nice game there and a nice finish. It was a lot of fun, and the crowd was so into it too, which was cool in the preseason.
Do you know when you come to play Niagara?
No, I haven't looked at the schedule at all, really. Just kind of focused on this first, and then if I'm back there, then I'll kind of dial it in from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That'll be good. And then maybe when the Ice Dogs play Barrie, if Brock doesn't play, maybe I can hitch a ride and go on the road. So we'll see about that. But I gotta see the Colts a couple times this year.
Oh yeah, for sure. Come see the boys. Support the old threads.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I don't really have anything else here. You wanna take it away?
Yeah, I mean, with that, I'm not complaining because apparently in San Jose it only rains 8 times a year. So I'm looking at about 25, 26 in sun for my time here. So I don't know what that translates to back in Ontario, but wherever you're listening from, wherever you're listening in from, just enjoy the week. We're that much closer to the hockey season starting. I know it's coming up very fast. So, and for all those young kids out there, a lot of tryouts going on right now. So best of luck to all you in that. And everyone just work your hardest and things will fall where they may. And you got to trust the process. So with that being said, we'll catch you next time on the pod.